What is going on with Pancakeswap? Why is the cake token going up? Who's buying here? Who's selling here? Most people are just drawing random lines on charts, try to predict prices this way. I believe it's important to look behind the price action, to actually look at what's going on chain. And so let's do this. But first of all, of course, the price, we are currently at $3.22 and we are up 70% this week alone. What's driving this rally? In case you're not aware, Pancakeswap is the largest decentralized exchange on the Binance Smart Chain. It ran 1.3 billion of trading volume in the last 24 hours. And that's more than the largest decentralized exchange on the base chain with only 1.1 billion. Now there is something ironic here. Most of the trading volume of the cake token actually does not happen via the Pancakeswap exchange. It happens in the centralized exchanges. So have a look at this. Most trading on the spot market happened directly on Binance, with a few white labeled Binances following. So those are not individual own centralized exchanges. Those use the same kind of backend that Binance is using. The same is true for the perpetual futures market. Toolbit is a white labeled Binance, xt.com as well. And so why is the cake token appreciating? Do we see that much more usage of the platform? Is maybe the capital that's locked up in that decentralized exchange increasing? Is Pancakeswap gaining from the revival of DeFi? Because what we see over here is how DeFi across all chains is having its second summer. The answer is no. This is the total value locked on Pancakeswap. We are now at a bit under 2 billion, but at one point we had been at 8 billion. Now here's a chart most people look at, just the cake token denominated in US dollars. And since launch, this looks fine, right? We are up 140%. We do have our occasional rallies of almost 400%. And now we might be starting another rally again. But have a look at this chart here. This doesn't look as flattering. Here, since September of 2020, we're actually down by 73%. What is this chart? It's cake relative to Bitcoin. So we look at now the outperformance of the cake token relative to BTC. The reason why this is important is because the altcoins directly compete within the crypto market, right? Crypto assets are very highly correlated to one another. So when Bitcoin goes up, the altcoins go up as well. When Bitcoin goes down, the altcoins go down as well. So we are competing for the same pool of capital. If something that has inherently more risk than Bitcoin, right, the largest of the cryptocurrencies, if something has more risk, we should long-term also see more performance. Unfortunately, we did not see that for cake. Since April 2021 to today, cake underperformed Bitcoin by almost 96%. And so what's causing this recent rally then? Is it tokenomics? Because the supply of circulating cake tokens peaked in June last year. The answer is probably no, because since June of last year, cake still underperformed Bitcoin. It also underperformed BNB, by the way, right? The native token of the Binance Smart Chain. Back in 2022 and 2023, I was actually quite actively involved in the cake token. I was doing some interest rate arbitrage in 2022 because there was a staking program with cake. So one was able to borrow the cake token for roughly 15% per annum and was then able to deposit that cake within the Pancakeswap platform to then get a return of 60, 70, sometimes 80%. And so you had pretty safe returns, right? Very high returns without the price risk. Once the staking program stopped and people started to unstake, that's actually when the cake token got completely hammered, and that's when I shorted cake. Here, have a look at this. This is the staking program balance over time. And I did the interest rate arbitrage up until the 1-year expiry. So that was in April 2023. And that was then when the price absolutely hammered. Again, this is cake relative to BNB. A drop of 58% in a matter of less than 2 months. Now it's interesting to look at the buyer versus seller behavior just in the last 24 hours here on dexscreener.com. So this is a statistic I like to look at for pretty much any token. We see how the price appreciated by 17% in the last 24 hours, but we can also look at the ratio of buyers versus sellers. And interestingly enough, there was actually more sellers than buyers, yet the price went up. And so the logical conclusion from this is that the buyers tended to move more capital than the sellers. So it is the large buyers, potentially whales, that are currently scooping up. But let's dive deeper into the on-chain analytics. Because here's the nice thing about the cake token, there is a ton of holders on chain. It's almost 1.8 million holders. Now, not all of those holders are created equally, right? Some of them got an airdrop, etc. Let's put some minimum holding thresholds on this. So on the left side, we see the number of wallets that have at least 300 cake tokens. So at the current price, that's roughly $1,000 worth of the token. In the middle, we go at 10x in minimum holding. So that's now 3,000 cake tokens. On the right, another 10x, so 30,000 cake tokens. So on the right, we've got $100,000 worth of the token at minimum. So on the right is the whales, on the left is small retail, and in the middle is something in between. Those are very long-term charts. They start in 2020, and we're seeing accumulation across the board. Yet we've already established how cake tended to underperform BNB and Bitcoin over the long term. So all that accumulation didn't help. The tokenomics were simply not good enough. Now here's the number of new users per day in the last month. And interestingly enough, we are somewhat stable here. We might be increasing slightly, but does it really justify this rally that just happened in the last few days? Probably not. We also see how the ratio of returned users versus new users over time didn't really improve. Here's another metric of attention. This shows the number of daily buyers and sellers over time, and we aren't necessarily rising that much recently. We are still at a comparatively low level. And so it appears as if this is not a retail-driven rally. It appears as if it's some whales that get in very heavily. Now, there are no great news on the Twitter account that would justify getting heavily into the cake token now, but it seems like smart money is buying. Because this is how I see crypto in general. When the heavyweights are buying something while there is no news about something, they might know something that we plebs don't. Thus, it might make sense to follow to a degree. I don't have a crystal ball either, but I don't think that the whales are buying just to pump and dump, because pump and dump schemes normally happen with very small cryptocurrencies. When a heavyweight like the cake token is accumulated by a few large insiders, then there might be something coming up. So let's have a very close look at cake. I would not be surprised to see that rally continue for a while. Now, here's the thing. I believe that most upside potential is in the small market cap tokens. And it's especially in the meme coins. Have a look at this. In the last 7 days, what performed the best? It's all meme coins, and it's hundreds of % potentially. We talked about Chill Guy early on this channel. We talked about Bully early on this channel. We also talked about the TITS token early on this channel. So feel free to follow here. Because here's the problem. Once a token rises to a certain market cap, it takes a lot of capital again to double and triple the token. And especially for meme coins that do have a lot of risk, that can easily go down by 50-60%, you do still want to see the upside potential. And so when the market cap is already pretty high in the billions of dollars, then there is not that much upside potential, but there's still the downside potential. So the risk versus reward isn't that great. Have a look at this. This is the largest meme coins in the last week. Pretty much everything went down. Only Dogecoin went slightly up. So once a meme coin has risen to a certain level, it's time to be cautious. It might make sense to go into the tokens that are not in the billions, but only in the tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions. But the question is always, how can we pick the right small meme coin, right? There's so many small meme coins. How do we not get burned? And I believe the answer to this is wallet tracking. So the blockchain is 100% transparent. And so once we've got a wallet of a certain influencer, of somebody that moves markets, of somebody that is a top trader, of somebody that did do the right things in the past. Once we have those wallets, we've got a very nice mechanism to filter what to buy and what to sell. Have a look at this. So this is Martini Guy, and he bought the Moon token when it was still at 4066. So that was even before the listing on Radium. So that was directly on the pump.fun ecosystem platform. When he bought, his position went up by more than 4,000%. Of course, it subsequently collapsed, but that's the idea of trading, right? You don't just want to buy and hold meme coins. Meme coins are a rotation game. You want to be in as long as the momentum is positive, and you want to exit very quickly once that turns around. Have a look at this here. Another alert by the Martini Guy. He bought the Fatties token, again directly on Pump Fun. And again, a very similar development. So the purchase happened directly on the platform. Subsequently, the price went up by 1,680% and then came crashing back down. Now, what's important with buying tokens that early, with tracking other influencers, is that first of all, we have to take profit, but secondly, also we have to be somewhat diversified. We can't bet half of our portfolio on a single bet. This is very risk on. So So here again, the Martini guy. He bought Chippy and that was at 2022. Here are his purchases. Now it's at 2016. So there are trades that don't necessarily always work out. It is a game of risk versus reward. You want to buy when the upside is still there. You don't want to buy the meme coins that are in the billions of dollars. But when going risk on like this, it's more important than with any other strategy not to lose everything, right? It's important to make small bets every now and then take profit when those make multiple X returns. And so that's why I made several tutorial videos on the topic, on risk mitigation, on portfolio diversification, of course also on-chain tracking, etc. Now I've talked about him now often enough, so here is that guy. This is Martini guy. He's got 150,000 subscribers and we track 12 of his wallets. We did this through on-chain analytics. We found out some of his wallets. But check this out. This is Alex Becker's channel. We also track his wallets. He's got 1.5 million subscribers. Now, when he talks about a token, it puts that much attention on the token that of course the price has to rise. We've got also 12 of his wallets. We're also tracking Crypto Banter with 1.1 million subscribers. We've got 33 of their wallets. And so I really believe this is the way to get an edge in crypto. It's not just buying random tokens that are funny, that are in some kind of list of trending tokens. I think it's much more important to follow the insiders. It's to follow the early money. It's to follow the people that have more attention and that can push prices higher. I like this strategy of wallet tracking that much that I made a dedicated tutorial course on just that. So it's 8 videos in total. It's how to find influencer wallets, it's how to track them. It's also how to interpret the signals that we get from the tracking. Once we have a signal, we of course also have to discuss when should we buy, when should we sell. We have to discuss our on-chain analytics. We have to compare what kind of conclusions we come to. That's why we've got our dedicated chats on the individual altcoins as well. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, in case you don't learn anything, just message me within the first 7 days and I'll refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. So does it make sense to buy the Cake token right now? Potentially, right? All of crypto is currently expanding. Thus, a lot of US dollar prices are likely going to go up. And on top of that, we've got the smart money buying into Cake. So probably the rally will continue. That being said, I don't believe in a 5 or in a 10x return in the next month because the market cap is already very large. The best opportunities, in my opinion, are still in the smaller meme coins, especially in the ones where we've got an edge, especially in the ones where we know more than the average market participant. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video or see you in premium. Cheers.